Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to HOTFIX. And
Hello.
that is not Mr. Kirioth. That is some sort of canine. Is it dead?
My dog's dead.
Poke it.
She's died in the doorway for no reason.
I-
She's just collapsed.
Oh dear. Hello, Mr. Kirioth. So
Hello.
I'm going to apologise for my webcam straight away because it's been pissing me off all day to the point of like, Mr. Kirioth has sat here for like 40 minutes in a Skype call with me trying to fix it, and I'm like white as anything. I don't know why. My lights are failing. Fuck the webcam. It is annoying me.
It's not been a good day for webcams.
So it was working fine. It was working absolutely fine. This Logitech fucking whatever with a Carl Zeiss arsehole lens in it or something. The 1080p Logitech one. I think it's C920 or something. I don't know. It's garbage. But it's not. It's actually quite good. But it's not working today, and I don't know why. But anyway, let's get into the hotfix, Mr. Kirioth, because there comes the news that, in fact... Well, let's start this off like this. Destiny, everybody knows it costs $500 million to make, yeah? $500 million, blah, blah, blah. Oh my god, this is ridiculous. The price for a game, how can this be true? Well, there was a couple of, like, things people generally got wrong with that. Is it was not just for the game that's out at the moment. I think that covers, like, between 5 and 10 years worth of development, at least 5 years of development, constant patches, you know, updates and stuff like that. The server infrastructure and you know, the advertising obviously takes a large chunk out of that as well. However, apparently, according to practically everywhere you go, like the Wall Street Journal, that anywhere that's financially inclined, Destiny has already basically done $500 million in sales. That is absolutely crazy.
Yeah.
It is, I believe, the biggest new IP launch ever. I don't think it's the biggest launch ever. I think there's still a couple of other games. I think games like Diablo 3 and stuff like that may have made more at launch.
GTA 5 was 800 million like in the first 24 hours or something insane. But I mean, for a brand new IP, Destiny has absolutely blown it out of the water. It's been absolutely insane. Yeah,
it's just totally destroyed it. So this brings us to the next thing, because, like, I mean, I'm just going to come out and say this, right? Why the hell have I even been playing Destiny? Like, what? I mean, let's have it, Mr. Kirioth. Let's fucking have it. Let's have it out right now. Why the hell have I been playing it, and why the hell have you been playing it? Because I like, Destiny is a console FPS game. This is not something I would generally play, right? I can't really I can now because I've been playing the game, but I couldn't use controllers for FPS games, okay? It's a console game at 30 FPS, which isn't that good. 30 FPS is not very good, especially when you know, for years and years I've always been at least 60, you know.
Yeah.
Most FPS games, well, you know, if it's competitive like Counter-Strike, let's say, you'd be looking at like 120 FPS minimum. I mean, my monitor is 144 Hz. I can play Counter-Strike at 180 FPS, I think, which is just stupid. Counter-Strike Global Offensive. So it's really smooth, super buttery smooth. And I think for a long time, I was sort of like, well, that's how an FPS game has to be, and it is. Don't get me wrong, it is. But on the consoles, it's a whole different beast. And you know what? Let's get stuck in with a 30 FPS debate, because like we've made videos on this before, and it's fucking terrible. You know, what was that game? Was it The Order? I think it was The Order, where it was like cinematic. What was all that about?
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah, that to me, that felt like an excuse for it being 30 FPS.
Yeah.
That felt like, well, we can't make it higher than that. We don't seem to be able to. The engine's not good enough, so we're going for this cinematic feel. It's all intentional, honest. And that kind of thing is irritating. Like, I much prefer it when companies are... I suppose it's not like 100% honest, because let's face it, I think they could probably eke out 60 FPS if they really put their minds to it. It would take a lot of work, it would take a lot of optimization, a lot of like trial and error, but I think it could probably be done.
Yeah, but you know how they do it? They just shit down the graphics. They'd be terrible. I mean, like, you look at Destiny, there's no way that game, in its current state, in its current graphical fidelity state, let's say, could run at 60 FPS on a PlayStation 4 or Xbox One. There's just no way.
No.
You know, it barely does 30. It's like, it couldn't do it, so they'd have to make it look worse. And I think, like, to the layman on the street, if it's flashy, it's kind of better. Like, but I'll let you carry on with your point before I just start laying into the graphics of Destiny.
I think, though, with Destiny, I know it's 30 FPS, but it honestly hasn't bothered me, and I think that's because the game itself looks fantastic. Like, I think the job they've done on just the way it looks as a whole is really great. Like, I went to the Reef last night, that area in space where there's all those shipwrecks floating around. That has got to be one of the best visuals I've seen in a game for fucking ages. I absolutely loved going through there. It looked incredible. And if it's a choice between having 60 FPS but that not looking as good, because it was genuinely breathtaking the first time I saw it, or having, or just having 30 in it, it looks like that, or 60, but it doesn't look quite as good. The 30 actually has become a bit of a, not a non-issue for me, but it's something I'm overlooking because I'm not kind of going around thinking, yeah, this looks great, but it would look better at 60, because I'm kind of so engrossed by the way it looks anyway, that I'm kind of ignoring the fact that the frame rate isn't what I'd normally want to play at.
I made a declaration on Twitter a couple of days ago, and I just said, you know what, I'm sick of just like, I tried to do this before, but I've always really had the attitude of like, well, it is a PC elitist attitude. I've always had it, but I've tried to come away from it. And a couple of days ago, I think it was about last week, I did say, I really just, if a game's fun, I'm going to play it, and that's the end of it. And I think that's what's going on with Destiny, because, like I said, it goes against every fibre of my being. It is a 30 FPS console shooter, and it's just like, what the hell, But let's come off that for a minute, because I do think, like, it is crap, but you do kind of get used to it. But it is crap. If it was 60 FPS, it'd be much better, but it wouldn't look as good. But so it's like whatever. I've played enough of that. I've got a level 20 character now, a level 20 Titan, and I know like I've never really had an issue with it then, which is strange for me to say because I do have a very big issue on paper, But I think like if we just look at the game now, let's look at Destiny, right? What the hell is Destiny? Destiny is not revolutionary in any way at all. I mean, all Destiny is, it's an MMO FPS, yeah? That's highly instanced, okay? So the most people you're ever going to see is when you're in the tower. And I don't know what the limit is. I think it might be 15 or maybe 20. I might be over-exaggerating that. It might only be 10. I'm not sure. That's the most people you're ever going to see at once, yeah? Because it's all instance. When you get into you can go on a strike mission, which is like a 1-3-man fire team. Or there might be 4-man, I'm not sure. In fact, have I got Destiny open? I probably have, because I'm such a filthy addict. I'm going to probably find out. You probably just heard a crazy noise, ladies and gentlemen. Don't worry. That is, yeah, I do have Destiny open. So let me just check. I'll tell you what you can do. So, if I might have to go to orbit. Lord. Hang on a minute. Let me go.
He's still logged in. He's still logged in at all
times. I forget. You know why I forget? Because the way I play it, right, guys, is I've got the AverMedia Record Central app open on the computer, and I run the PS4 through the capture card, so I don't actually turn the PS4 on and off. Like I forget, I just close the window, but obviously that doesn't shut it down. But yeah, what I'm saying is what actually is in the game. This is 1-3-man. Missions and such. Let's have a look. So, yeah, we've got you've obviously got the story missions. You've got strike missions, 1-3-man fire teams, and there's various ones of them. Then you've got raids, which I do believe are also 1-3-man. But the point I'm trying to make is it's just small scale. Small scale co-op group like Borderlands. Okay. The game has a heavy emphasis on loot. Okay. Now, I did think, Mr. Kirioth, it wasn't as much as Borderlands, tons of loot being thrown around all over the fucking place.
Yeah.
It kind of is, though. There really is quite a lot of loot. I mean,
there is.
You might have not noticed it. Well, actually, this is quite interesting. You might have not noticed this, but because I'm level 20, I am literally leaving stuff on the floor. There's loads of stuff all over the place, and it's suddenly become this is getting crazy. I don't know whether the drop rates have increased or what, but it's like there's a ton of loot. Yeah.
I mean, I've found that for me, there's been a fair bit, but it hasn't felt overwhelming. Because the problem I have with Borderlands is they talk about, oh yeah, bajillion guns everywhere. Yeah. So yeah, that's fine, but you end up picking up a load of shit. None of it's an upgrade, and you just throw it away again because after every fight you pick up 50 items and none of them are relevant. And that just goes that takes it a step further than it needs to go because. Yeah. It's just become a gimmick of you wading through piles of crap, essentially. Whereas for me, Destiny, admittedly, I've been a bit frustrated by the loot system because, frankly, I do not need, the equivalent of World of Warcraft trash items at this time. I want actual gear, but it hasn't been quite as ridiculous as that yet. But I wouldn't be surprised if as a level up, if I saw more of that going on. And I'm level 14 at the moment, and I have noticed that I'm getting more than I did when I was level 4. I know. There definitely seemed to be an increase there.
I guess we're kind of just going off the point a bit, but what I was trying to say is it isn't revolutionary. Everything it does has kind of been done in other games. So you've got the loot, which that's been done. The co-op, that's been done. Let's be honest, it looks like Halo. It looks extremely like Halo. It is. I hate this term because it's not next gen because they're using hardware from fucking years ago from PC. But whatever, it's like a next gen, Halo graphical design kind of thing. I hate the word
I think
aesthetic, but that's what it is. Like
I think when it comes to like the armor that you pick up and the weapons that you use, there's definitely a very Halo feel, but I feel like it's less cartoony than Halo.
it's
I think
real.
It's a lot more,
Well, not real, but yeah, it feels gritty,
and,
doesn't it? Yeah,
yeah, it feels more realistic and more gritty as opposed to like kind
Which,
of.
you know what? That's quite a good point because the characters, I like when I first seen the armor. Okay, of the Titan is supposedly the guy with the big armor and all this stuff. It isn't massive armor. It's just like plates of armor on his body. But after a while, it starts to like grow on me, like because it's actually quite detailed. You know, it is some of the best armor detail I've seen on any character really. In like any, let's just say MMO. Or like RPG, to be honest. I know like games like Dark Souls and whatever, they do have nice armor designs, but it is very detailed and it looks like it's actual armor. Like it doesn't look like it's crazy shit, which is like, oh my god, look at this, I've got flags on my back. But like part of me wanted that, but I didn't get it. But that goes back to the point of you saying it is like this more like gritty, like realistic thing.
I think it's more subtle. I think is the thing. It's like a lot more subtle than other games of its type because instead of like, if you're the tank, instead of being like some guy in like a massive suit of armor with giant shoulder pads and a massive shield, which is traditionally what you'd get in pretty much any MMO, it's a lot more about kind of. I think it's just a lot more about the armor's design. Like the armor for my hunter, for instance, is when I stand next to you in any instance, like if we're just standing in the tower, if you get a good look at both characters side by side, the hunter is really slimline. Like it's slim and the armor's close fitting and it's light. It's got like
leather armor, isn't it?
Plates
Almost
on it,
yeah.
But it's like leather with like metal plating, but it's only thin plating. So you really get the idea from just looking at it. It's like, okay, they need to move around. Like they are going to be constantly moving from target to target and almost like slipping through the shadows kind of thing. Whereas your guy, he might not be this big, chunky, massive, tanky guy, but the sheer amount of like armor plating he's got, even though it isn't huge and it isn't like over the top, it looks at least functional. Like it looks like he could take more punishment by quite a way than the hunter or the warlock. And I mean, if you kind of look at it, it's like a kind of sci-fi interpretation of like the traditional kind of fantasy classes, because the Titan has got like the more detailed, heavier armor. The hunter has got the lighter sort of leather-based armor. The warlock has got that.
I'd agree with that.
Like a robe that's on.
Yeah, it's like a wizard type of thing going down, like a mage thing.
It's all a lot more subtle, and it kind of fits in.
It's a bit weird though.
They're going for.
It's a bit weird because I think like that. Even though it is, I guess we could say gritty and real. I still think that it is quite sterile. Like the whole universe is very like. Well, I mean the I say universes. What's available in the game at the moment, not the actual fucking universe, ladies and gentlemen. But like it's all very sterile. Like, what annoys me is that the storyline is terrible. It really is. I won't spoil it for any of you guys, but it's just, it's very nondescript. It's very, like, I guess, benign, I suppose I could use that. It's just boring. It's just really boring. There's no, like, it doesn't make me explode with, like, oh my god, I can't believe it, any of that shit. It's just like, well, this is, like, whatever. It may as well have not been a story. It kind of doesn't really make much sense. But going on from that, now this kind of does annoy me quite a bit, is the names of the enemies. Now and also like the names of pretty much everybody else in the world, because you've got like the guy in the tower who is the leader of the Guardians. He's called the Speaker. It's like, okay, the Speaker. The big ball thing, the Traveler. Everyone's got like one word to describe their like it's just a descriptive word. It's not a name. It's just like it's like, I am the Traveler. I am the the fucking the Speaker. So the enemies as well, this kind of really annoyed me. So you've got the Vex, okay. Now these guys are like robotic enemies, which the game builds as the most incredible technology you've ever seen in your life. They're going to wipe the galaxy out and all this, only for you to shoot the shit out of them, and then find the Cabal, who are actually apparently harder than them. It's like, whatever. But the Vex guys, they all have fantasy names for their units, and it's very weird. Like, they've got this like assault robot, and it looks like the Terminator without skin on, like a metal skeleton. And it's called a goblin. Yeah. It's like, why is that called a goblin? Then there's a ranged version of it, like a sniper, and it's called a hobgoblin. It's like, okay. Then there's a big guy, and he's called a minotaur, and it's like, well, these are just like generic fantasy names that kind of correlate to the size of the unit. Then there's a big thing with one laser in its head called a cyclops, and then there's a flying thing called a harpy. It's like, it annoyed me because it's very childish. Like I would have liked for them to come up with names for them, you know, actual names. Like come up with a name. Like it couldn't have. They've got all this money thrown around. They couldn't, you know, maybe put some effort into it instead of just these like boring. Like I guess they're not nondescript because they are descriptive, but they don't make any sense. It's like, why is that called a goblin? It ain't a little green thing. It's a fucking killing robot. That's about 8 foot. You know what I mean? It's like, what the hell?
Yeah.
Aye, aye, aye.
See, for me, I think one of the problems that I've had so far with the story is that it's very. I guess it's kind of like everything else in Destiny. Everything is very. I know it's a game where you run around shooting the shit out of hundreds of enemies at a time, but at the same time, the design is quite subtle, and it kind of feels like the story again. It's quite an abstract thing. It's full of like weird abstract words and concepts. You know, you've got like the Traveler and the Speaker, and you've got the Awoken, and you know,
that's it.
They're all
the Queen as well. Don't forget the Queen.
Yeah, the Queen, and they're all very kind of they're very abstract concepts applied to something that in that universe you'd think would be like kind of clear. Now, I haven't finished the storyline yet, but I just. At this point, all I can do is kind of hope that there will be at some point an explanation as to what this stuff means. Now, you pick up things called grimoires as you're going through the game.
Yeah. Like,
if you kill a certain number of things, you get a grimoire, and if you meet a person, you'll get a grimoire for it. And it always says visit Bungie.net for more information. That's fine. I assume there's more information packed away.
Yeah, like, little bits of lore, but it's not. It's weird lore that
together, but
it's weird. Like I mean, like I guess like if you go back to the comparison with Halo, you could say, right, Halo gives you a much better sci-fi. Okay, now my experience with Halo is fairly limited, but I have played Halo 4. I think it's Halo 4. It's the latest Halo. That, in my opinion, is a better like sci-fi FPS shooter experience, like adventure experience. Yeah, go through a story, get to the end. You know, yeah. Destiny doesn't give you any of that really. Destiny's just like you killing a load of guys, and it tries to give you like a pointless story. But that's kind of not what Destiny's about. So it's weird to me that that's even there. Because when me and you played the Ben Fogel mission, what is he called? Fogel or something? Fogath, something like that.
Fogath.
Yeah, well, so at least he's got a name. This guy. It was one of the strike missions. I think it's the Bone Pit or something. The Pit of Bone on the moon. It's like this big guy's chained. You have to kill him. That was actually. It's pretty intense, you know. Like the sound design in the game is really good. Like it's some of the best I've ever heard. Like really good. It's like these full-on orchestral scores that obviously fucking took loads of development to make, and they sound really good. It's like, oh my god, you know, I'm killing this big guy, and it's like, whoa, and it does feel really tactical. That's where the game shines. And now I've hit level 20. I've been doing some of these. I'll just tell you what they're called because I've still got the game open. They are strike playlist missions from the Vanguard strike thing, and I've been doing Vanguard Eagle, which are level 18 strikes for 1 to 3 people. I can do Vanguard Viper, these are level 20, and then we've got Vanguard Wolf, these are level 22. I just get annihilated on them because I'm only level 20. Like kind of like this is the progression system they've got. So now I'm level 20. I need to go through and do some of these Vanguard Eagle at level 18, or maybe I can do level 20, but that'll gear me up for the next tier, and then the last tier, which is the Vanguard Tiger, I don't have access to. Because I do not have, like, you have to unlock better gear. There's a system in the game where you get light on your gear, and it's kind of like you reach max level, but then you get tiers of, it's almost like tiers of raid equipment, basically. When you get better stuff, your level of light will go up, and then you can go into better things. And that's what Destiny's all about. It's an MMOFPS game, so why it's got this poxy story, which nobody gives a shit about, because to be honest, the game, getting to level 20 is not the game. The game starts at level 20, you know, so, like, I just don't understand it. It's really shitty and weird what they've done. And also the voiceover from Tyrion Lannister is fucking abysmal. Even though they fixed it a little bit with a little bit of like special effects, I am not standing for that, Mr. Kirioth. It is bad. It is bad. I
admit, it feels kind of almost. It feels very sort of by the numbers kind of voice acting. It's like it just get.
He's picked up the paycheck.
There you go. Yeah. I don't know. I was kind of expecting a bit more from it. I don't know whether there's supposed to be a reason for it. Like, I mean, I suppose he is a small, tiny robot thing. But at the same time, it's like
maybe there is.
Is he going to have someone of that fame and of that? I mean, because that's the thing as well. It's not like he's a bad actor. It's not like he couldn't do a ridiculous good job.
You know, you said maybe that's how they wanted them to do it. That could be a good thing, actually. You've hit the nail on the head there, I think, because if you look at the universe with it being like sterile, in my opinion, maybe that's why he talks like he does. Oh, there's the enemy. We must kill them. If you leave me here, I will activate the console and we can get through the door. Yes, we are through the door. It's like that. It's crap. You know, I would have preferred some like men, like just get Morgan Freeman. But
I suppose also as well, he doesn't need to feel particularly afraid because he can't die. That's the other thing as well. There's plenty of missions where it's like protect the ghost while he decodes whatever thing he's decoding.
yeah,
I'm sorry, but I've been on missions where I've died repeatedly, and the ghost is still just fucking about on the console. Nothing goes for him. And
they,
since
they
he can
use
just
that all the
disappear and
time.
appear at will, it's like, well,
That's gash
you know,
as well.
is
They
it
do it all
is
the
that
time
part of it as
don't
well? Is it flat because the ghost is like, well, you're in trouble, but frankly, you know, it's kind of
they?
irrelevant
I don't know,
to me.
but it's
Someone
weird
else
though,
will
isn't
come
it?
and pick me up. I don't know.
Yeah, it's gash.
Yeah,
I don't
mean,
know. It's weird.
it is very sterile. I mean, I don't know whether it's supposed to be subtle. If it is supposed to be subtle, I think it's gone too far the other way. Like it's gone from being like supposed to be understated to just like under enthusiastic. But
Yeah, it's like I don't
know,
give a shit attitude. It sounds like. All right then. So,
Yeah.
Mr. Kirioth, I'll submit the question to you then. Why the hell have you been playing Destiny?
for me, it's been a combination of two things. The first thing is it's been a long time since I've played a sci-fi game of like where I'm
Okay.
just one person, not a ship, but one person doing essentially whatever I like in a setting that's as well done as Destiny. Now, it is kind of bland. It is very sterile, but at the same time, the level design is absolutely fantastic. The sound design is just really, really good. And despite the names of the enemies, I like the variation enemies and the fact that you can basically equip your character with whatever you want to equip them with and fundamentally change the way they play. I really like that aspect of it, and I don't really mind. Well, I say I don't mind. I don't really care about the story at the moment, but I could go down on patrols to the moon or Venus and happily sit there and do similar missions over and over because it's immersive enough that, and it's still new enough that I just kind of feel the draw to keep going back to it. And I think the other thing as well is that there are kind of references throughout the game to the fact that, you know, that especially with the ships, it says like, oh, this ship is capable of long-range jumps. No ships now are made with the same skill as they were back in the golden years, whatever it was called. You know, there's this kind of feeling that everything, whilst you might be a guardian, you might be like really good at fighting and stuff, you are kind of at a slight disadvantage because your guns are old. They're using old technology. There's things firing lasers and teleporting at you and chucking mental grenades that like make little black holes and shit all over the place. But you're a guy and you've got a fully automatic machine gun that's slightly futuristic and a knife, off you go. I kind of like that aspect of it. It's kind of got almost like a very sort of smooth, not chunky Warhammer 40k feeling. You know, we have got the old tech, but we are badass enough that we're able to take out the new tech.
You know, and it also rips off a lot of Star Wars as well. I mean, even from like the jet bike speeder thing, there is a Cabal land tank, and that is the thing in the desert.
Oh, the big the Dune crawler, I think. It's called.
Yeah, it's that. It's just a complete rip off of that. It's like, well, I think that the gear thing. That I mean, let's be honest. Okay, so endgame, the game is all about unless you want to play PvP, which we'll touch on in a second, but for PvE, okay, it's all about cooperative groups. It's about overcoming a challenge, okay, and then it's about getting loot. Yeah. So what we've distilled that down into now is this is literally an FPS dungeon crawler. Okay, that's what it is, right? Even the raids, which apparently are going to take a long time to complete, they're just extended dungeons. Now, this is a problem, okay, because this means that I'm counting on my fingers, right? This means if they do not have enough content. Right, I've already seen this a few times as well. People will leave certain strike missions, yeah, from the Vanguard playlist. So I'll go into the playlist and I'll join a mission. As the mission starts, because it's random, yeah, it just picks from a pool of whatever's in the list at the time. It came up with a mission on Mars, and then everybody left, and I'm like, well, this is annoying because that took about 2 minutes to connect. It connected pretty quick, but like it loads the map in and everybody's, all the ships together flying and everybody drops. It's like, well, that's annoying. I didn't know. I guess that's because it's a shit mission. I did it again, it happened again, and then I did it again, and I got into a mission where it was all vehicles and stuff, like you were getting on these like assault interceptors and flying around, and there was tanks driving by and you had to blow them up. And I'm like, well, this is like way better, and the group I did it with did it, and it was like, well, that was interesting. My fear is, though, with this type of game, unless you're going to keep content coming, you end up in the situation of every fucking MMO ever, where, you know, look at WoW. WoW has got a major expansion coming out now, but WoW has been progressively getting longer and longer between any kind of content update. I think since the last one on Mr. Pandaria, it's been like 7 months or something. It's been a long time, I think, since they've actually added content into the game. So that means people bleed away and they don't want to play the game no more. And this all ties back into loot, because obviously you're going to get more loot if you're going to do instances that you enjoy doing, and because that's all Destiny really is, you know, not including the PvP. So take my situation, yeah. Once I've progressed through these tiers of, I mean, what are they? These like Vanguard tiers, and let's say I get to Vanguard Tiger, right, which is the level 24. So I'm operating at level 24 now with my gear. What then? They need to give me raids, yeah? They probably will. But how many is there going to be? Is there going to be enough for me to keep playing the game every day for a few hours? This is where it gets weird.
Yeah.
And then it's like, we'll roll a different class. I'm going to say this, and I'm going to say this, and it's going to sound a little bit weird maybe. Every class is essentially the same. Yeah, every class has a gun and shoots the fucking gun. Every class can use all the same guns, okay? So to go and roll another class, to me, as it stands right now, it's not very attractive. Okay, I don't have a maximum level character, so maybe I would. But we're not talking radically different. You know, we just talk, I mean, like your hunter can throw a knife. It can, well, the blade dancer can slash.
To the Titan.
But you know, you're still using the same weapons as me, pulse rifles and sniper rifles and rocket launchers. You know, it's just the same. You know, there isn't really much difference there. So that's my worry for the game, and I think it kind of is a little bit like, and I guess this is kind of my answer as to why I have been playing the game a lot as well, because I do like collecting loot. I do like advancing characters. You know, I do like. I mean, maybe I could say I've had like an MMO itch which I needed scratching, and this has kind of scratched it for me because I've got that advancement of characters. You know, I'm in a world, I'm taking part in stuff, and you know. Also, as well, just quickly, the game is very polished. Like in almost every aspect of the game, is like I've not seen any problems at all, and I've played it for ages.
I think, to me, it kind of feels like, with the amount of advertising that went into it, the amount of development time that went into it, the budget they had for it, which was like insane money, pretty much the same amount that they made back. Pretty much, I don't know if it's even broke profit yet. The amount that's been spent on the game,
I'm not sure,
but it feels to me like Destiny at the moment, the Destiny we're playing, it's almost like a platform. It's not actually the finish. It doesn't feel like the finished game from what I've seen and from what other people have been doing and from, you know, what people have been saying about PvP and endgame content and grinding and so on. It feels like what we're playing is like almost like the first season of Destiny or like the first Assassin's Creed. It's like this is a new IP that's going to be here for ages, like for years and years and years. It's sold really well. They've got everything in place. They've absolutely nailed all the mechanics they want to nail. But now, going forward, maybe we'll see things like bigger raids, more people in raids. We'll see different missions. We'll see new areas open up. I really hope that's the case, because otherwise it will suffer from the same drop-off that every other MMO in the world
like that
does
Rift.
when it's not updated with content.
You know, like the Reef, sorry. You were talking about, like you even said, it would be sweet if you could have ship combat there. That's like I would like to see that in the game. You know, everyone's got fancy ships. Let's do something with them instead of them just being, you know, things on a loading screen, because that's all they are. But like what you've got available at the moment in the game, well, what I've got access to as a freshly minted level 20. Okay, so I've got Clash competitive multiplayer. Right, this is the future war call. They want you to go in and win a 6v6 deathmatch. Okay, that's a PvP event, yeah? So if I do that, I'm pretty sure that'll disappear, yeah? I've also got a daily heroic story. So again, play one of the story missions on heroic difficulty, level 20. This is the track down codes to raise an ancient array. So this is one of the very first missions on Old Earth, okay? Then also, I've got a weekly heroic strike mission I can do. So this is kind of like, you know, weekly dungeons and stuff in MMOs. You're going to get a special reward for it because you're going to get strange coins, Vanguard marks and stuff like that from doing it. And this is for Sepkis Prime, you know, the crazy eyeball machine god, to kill him on level 22 difficulty, which is obviously pretty mental. Then I've got a strike playlist, which I went through before, with all these different levels of the Vanguard strike. So Eagle, Viper, Wolf, and Tiger. Then I've got the Crucible, which I can obviously go in and play multiplayer if I want to do. And then I've got like all the maps I can click on and just go and do patrol missions if I want. So on the face of it, there is a lot there to do. But like I said, once 2 or 3 weeks have gone by, am I still going to want to keep going and doing these daily heroics and things like that if it's the same thing over and over again? The community manager made a note and said, I made a blog post on the Destiny site and did say they're going to increase the rate of random events happening in the open world. Now, I've not seen one. I have literally not seen one on my way to level 20. Yet in the beta, I've seen them all the time. Like, you'd be running around on a patrol mission, and it would come up and it'd go, "The darkness is consuming this area. An enemy fleet has arrived. Defeat the the Prime," or some shit. And it, like, a load of shit would come down, and everybody from all around the area would come in and start killing it. That was quite good in the beta. I've not seen that at all, but it must be a bug because they said they're going to add it. So that would be nice. But I think we've gone on for quite a long time. Oh, go on, Mr. Kirioth.
Well, I think about it, between today, yesterday, and the day before, I must have spent about, I want to say maybe 4.5, 5 hours doing patrol missions on Earth and the Moon. Nothing like that at any point happened. Now, I know there are people sitting there going, "Oh, well, you weren't there for long enough." It's like, yeah, but I mean, I know it's supposed to be a random event, but if you're going around leveling and if you're just generally exploring and doing these patrol missions, there should be a good enough chance that you'll see something exceptional, because otherwise there's going to be no draw to go back to those. Like, I mean, for a start, now that you're level 20, is there any point you doing patrol missions other than to try and find these random events? And if there's not like a reason, if there aren't these random events happening frequently enough.
Yeah, so the kind of is.
Do it? I mean,
well, it would be boring. This is the thing. Like, I was kind of doing this to level myself up to 20. I went to Venus and I was just killing. You know that area with the crashed ship in Venus where I said there's loads of mobs? I was there and I was just shooting a lot of killing them, right? Because even though they're lower level mobs, like level 11 and level 12, you still get loot relevant to your level, right? So you can kill low level stuff and get loot. So I got a couple of blues and a load of greens for doing this, and it was like level 19 greens and stuff like that. So there were upgrades for me at the time. A couple of blue pieces were kind of side grades to what I had already. But so there is kind of a point there, but that is kind of like, that is farming for the sake of farming, you know what I mean? That would be, you just go in there and killing this stuff. That's not what the game should be. The game should be sending you into the strike missions to get the loot, not going and shooting shit. You know, because I guess you would get exotic drops there as well, like the purple epics and stuff. But yeah, like I don't know. I think you're right, Mr. Kirioth, what you said. They've got a platform here which they can plug stuff into. My worry is they don't plug stuff into it fast enough. They've got such a user base now, they're going to have to do it. Because I know that in a couple of weeks' time, if there was some sort of DLC for this, I would buy it. I honestly would buy it because I've enjoyed what I've done, you know, and I actually want to go and play the game right now after we've recorded this video. Like, I've got this very strange like urge to play the game quite a lot, and like I was asked this on the Co-optional podcast, you know, why do you like it? And I was like, well, it's hard for me to explain, but I think it does have to do with the fact it is PvE. So I can kind of hide my shitness, you know, but I can still use my brain to sort of advance my character. You know, like if I see, you know, when we're against Ben Fogel, we're like, well, okay, we can see what he's doing. We can kind of bait him around and shoot him. You know, we don't have to be the best of the best. So I can kind of get away with it.
You know what, actually, the way that Destiny's been done, the way the gameplay is, it's really well suited for that kind of mission as well. Like the way the weapons work and the way they've done the enemies. When we were doing that mission by ourselves, just the two of us, it is quite a difficult mission, really. I mean, the guy's got a ton of health. There's ads everywhere.
Yeah, the ads are really bad.
And I mean, when you have a wave of like 4 witches, it's nearly it's nearly impossible to bloody do anything about it. But with the two of us being able to go around the arena that's kind of been set up for that fight, we were able to call out what was happening. You know, there's something off to your left, there's something on the right. Okay, I've got his attention. You can move over there, and that kind of. I enjoyed that kind of cooperative play and that kind of like almost like a boss challenge. It felt to me like Diablo 3, but I preferred it to Diablo 3 in that respect.
Yeah,
like
but
when you find a big boss in Diablo 3.
It does. Like I don't know. I think Diablo 3 is a crap example there, because Diablo 3 is just, even though you're in a group, it's like every man for themselves. You don't care. But like a better example probably is WoW or like EverQuest or something, because that feeling we got there is exactly the feeling you get when you do a dungeon in a game like that, or you do some sort of group instance or something like that. It's exactly the same. Like that's what it is, and we haven't done that for so long. I think this is really like feeling fresh to us, and that's probably what's drawing me back into it. I think that's what it probably is. But like I said, the PvP, I said I was going to touch on this. I am very quickly, but I've only played one game. I came bottom of the team. And I think I came second from bottom. I was shit, like really bad, because like I felt really like I was getting annihilated. Like when it came to 1v1, I was just getting taken out, and I was like, I just kind of resorted to running around capturing the points. The PvP itself, this zone control thing, and the way it all starts, it is pretty slick. Like because your team comes down and like you see all your team, and like whoever's got the, I think your guy's got the flag, sticks it in the ground, and it's like Alpha Team, ground control, and it's like, oh okay, this is pretty good, and the guy sounds just like that as well. So then it'll be like, Zone A is under Alpha Team control. Zone B is being contested. You know, it's like that. So you run around the map, and I felt like I was doing pretty well. And then at the end, when it came up with the score, I was like, oh dear, I'll get my coat. I've done really bad. Now, to me, when I see that, I'm like, this is horrendously bad, right? Yeah, that wouldn't happen to me on Counter-Strike or something like that. I would not end up at the bottom of the team. This is like really piss poor bad. Now, I guess that's why I've never played any other FPS games really on console for this amount of time, because there's no way I'd play Call of Duty multiplayer. I'd get destroyed. On the PC, fine, but not on the consoles. But this game, because it's PvE, I'm totally fine with it, and I've been having I'll put my hands up. I've been having a really good time with it, and while I can't just, I'm never gonna sit here and say it's the best game ever, because it's not. I'm not even gonna say it's the best game I've played this year, but it's the game I've played the most probably. It's like crazy.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't even.
For me, it is just one of those things where it just takes elements from loads of other games, everything in it has been done before. But the combination of what they've done, the way they've done it, has led to something that is it's really nice to look at. It's really addictive to play, and you can sit there and, frankly, you can listen to the soundtrack and the sound effects all day long, and it's that combination of everything that you've done before, but combined together to make something that is so new that every time you put it down, you're like, actually, I could probably go for another hour or so. Like, you just want to go that one step further and find that next thing.
Yeah.
And I mean, really, whether people think it's the best game or the worst game, it's done that job of taking elements from predecessors and putting them together. It's done that really, really well. I mean, hell, it's done that to the tune of $500 million in like a ridiculously short space of time.
Here's an interesting thought. Do you think this is like like Heroes of New Earth and Dota? And then League of Legends came along, Riot came along and made League of Legends and turned it into the massive scene it is today. Then we had Dota 2. Well, Riot took the formula that was already there and turned it into a profitable thing. Do you think that there was, like, maybe Gearbox were onto something with Borderlands, but because it wasn't, like, MMOFPS-y and it wasn't persistent, that they kind of missed the trick there? If they came out with, like, a Borderlands game like this, before this, would that have done well? Maybe Destiny have like sniped them to the bait like that. Could you say this is the natural evolution of that genre and it's kind of taken it to the next level? I don't know.
I think honestly, I think it might be, because the Borderlands games for me were okay, but
I never really enjoyed them, and yeah, I really like Destiny. It's crazy.
Well, that's the thing. I couldn't just keep going back to Borderlands. It was all right. I enjoyed it when I played it, but I was never sitting there going, "Yeah, I want to play it again." Whereas with Destiny, I am, and I think it is down to that thing of, I think as well, Destiny doesn't feel stupid. That's the only way I can describe it. Borderlands is intentionally stupid. Like, the humor is stupid. It's supposed to be a funny game, but it's kind of getting more and more extreme to the point where in the pre-sequel they're talking about you can play Claptrap, and that to me is like, it's like Bungie looked at that and went, you know what? If we made this 1 to 3 people, persistent universe with a proper progression system and the ability to take on missions, that were vastly challenging in beautiful areas,
and we'll keep it in our Halo universe.
Areas.
Yeah, we'll keep it in our Halo universe, but we won't call it Halo. And that's what maybe it is. We're going to leave it at that anyways, guys, because this is a fucking long hotfix. So yeah, this has been a discussion about like Destiny and why the hell we've been playing it, because it's weird. I want to know, guys, why the hell you've been playing Destiny if you have. Maybe you've gone to extreme lengths. Maybe you've been suckered in by the marketing campaign and then didn't like the game. Maybe you've run out like a mental and bought a PS4 or Xbox One bundle with the game because you see how magnificent I was at the game. Maybe you just don't care for the game. Okay, maybe 30 FPS is just too much for you to handle. Or
maybe
console
waiting for
FPS.
PC.
Maybe waiting for PC, yeah, which is the other interesting thing. Which, like I've said, if it was out on PC, there's no way I would play it on a console because it just ticks all the boxes really for PC. Yeah. Any final words, Mr. Kirioth?
Love it.
Love it. Right, and ladies and gentlemen, you can follow me on Twitter. It's @UnitLostGaming, and Mr. Kirioth is, well, he can say his own Twitter.
At Kirioth.
It's
Easy.
highly complicated, as we say every week. And yeah, if you like the video, guys, like the video, leave a comment below. Like I said, take part in the discussion. We do read the comments on this video because we love it. And well, we'll catch you next time, ladies and gentlemen. Toodaloo.